Hi everyone, it's Sonia here. The video you're about to see is an interview that I did with a person who's an addict and who's homeless here in Montreal. When I ran into him, I said, "Oh wow, I'm really glad to see you're alive." And I told him that I'd heard that the curfew and the lockdown had been really deadly for people on the street. And I asked him how the people in the neighborhood were doing, and he told me they all died. He told me that so many people just in this neighborhood had died during the lockdowns and especially during the curfew, that I knew that I had to raise awareness about this. We've had a big problem here even before this whole thing started. Anyway, you guys, I just want to let you know what you're going to see here. And before I start, I just want to ask you to please like the video if you like it. Leave me a comment, please. Thank you for your support on Patreon also, which helps keep my channel going. And I want to give a little shout out to C60 EVO. This is the oil that has helped my sleep so much. When you don't get restful sleep, you don't feel good, you don't have energy in the day. And for me personally, this has improved my sleep quality so much. My ability to fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling rested. Even my RLS, my legs are more restful. And so I want to let you know about this because it's something that's really helped me a lot. So if you're interested, you want to find out more about C60, please click the link below. If you do use the link to purchase it, you'll get a discount, and this also helps us support my channel. So thanks for checking out the link. Okay guys, so here's the interview that I did with John, and he's going to tell you firsthand account what it has been like being homeless in Montreal during the lockdown and the curfew. Hey everybody, it's Sonia here in Montreal, and I'm here talking to John, who's actually on the street.
Yeah, currently on the street. Actually, I'm on the sidewalk.
And the reason I wanted to talk to him is, like, I've known John for a really long time, and I wanted him to tell you a little bit about what it's been like for the homeless during the curfew. I just want you to tell me what your experience was, because we'd heard about how they impose fines for being out after curfew. Actually, they insisted on fining the homeless, and our premier said that you guys should just go inside. So how did that work out for you?
Just going inside. Oh wow, going inside. Going inside where is a good question. You know what I mean?
Don't they have shelters?
Okay, all right. Well, I tried that last night. I went to the one in Atwater, Cabot Square, and they said, "Oh, we were over capacity. You have to leave. You can stay in and get warm for a minute, but you can't stay any longer than that. As soon as you're warm, you have to get out." And they actually called for a shuttle bus, and the shuttle bus came to take us somewhere, but there's far and few between any makeshift shelters available.
Right, so they're like half capacity, and so they turn a lot of people away.
They turn everybody away.
And so what?
No, I don't think that's everybody, because like this girl, Alex is her name. She came in just as we were ready to leave. We were packing up. So as we were like out the door, going through the door, she came in just before we were ready to leave. Her? And yeah, they took her in and they gave her a big hug. Because the first time I went to this place, it wasn't long ago. It was I've never really been one for shelters. No, I never stayed in shelters, and so 6 days ago, I guess was the very first time that I've gone to this place, and that's like one of the very few places that I've gone since I've been homeless, which is umpteen. It seems like
long time.
I think Methuselah was alive when I but yeah, no, and when the very first time I went there. There were at least 3 times as many people. So when I went last night, there was like 1/3 of the people the first time I went.
Oh, so 5 days ago there was a lot of people, and then when you went last night there was a lot less people.
At least 1/3 of the.
I wonder why. What about the hotels? Because people had heard that they had set up hotels for homeless people. How did that work out for you?
They didn't set up hotels. They opened up a hotel.
Oh, right? Just one.
Down by Plaza de Plea or whatever. That hotel.
Yeah.
I tried that place one night.
You got in there?
I got in for one night.
How was it?
How was that? Let's say they bunk you up with someone.
Yeah.
And the guy that they put me in with is this psychopath that keeps his cat in a baby carriage. They took off the bathroom door. They took off.
Oh, so there's no privacy. You're in there with another person. You have to go to the bathroom in front of them, basically.
Basically, they took off everything. Not even like in the shower. Took off all the means of.
Okay. So there's no privacy.
There's they removed the curtains. They took off the paintings off the wall, the telephone, removed the telephone. They took out the beds.
Took out the beds?
You have no bed.
Oh, so you weren't sleeping in beds. You were just in an empty room with no door in the bathroom, and you sleep on the floor. Okay.
Completely.
Because people think that it's like they give you a nice hotel room with like a bed and a TV.
Really yeah, right.
It wasn't like that.
And then they wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And then
kick you out.
They kick you out.
Do they insist that you are sober when you go in, or can you come in if
you're
you're
not
still
allowed
high?
to use any drugs or anything.
Okay.
So on and so
So
forth.
people
They put me with. I wanted to finish that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He said if my cat gets into any of your stuff and anything happens to my cat, he said I'm going to blow your head off and then I'm going to shoot myself. And he talked about like killing himself for the rest of. But he was okay. So I wanted to use the bathroom. The light was on in the bathroom. He wasn't in the bathroom, so I said I got to use the bathroom. He's like, "Hey man, I'm not done in there." And I'm like, "All right." I said, "Finish what you got to do." I said, "But could you kind of make it in a hurry?" I really have to go. And so he went inside and he wasn't doing anything. I was just kind of listening, and he wasn't doing anything. He was just puttering around inside, not on the toilet, not washing himself, not in the shower, just puttering around inside there, doing absolutely nothing. So about 45 minutes later, I holler back in and say, "Yo, dude, I gotta go to the bathroom." He's like, "Don't worry, you'll know when I'm finished." And
yeah, so you basically have to bunk with an asshole and even somebody who threatens you. Yeah, so that's scary, actually.
I didn't go back after that. That was my one and only time at that place.
I got another question. What about the day shelters? Like, are they pretty accessible in the day? Is there somewhere you can go? Can you go as long as you want? Do they feed you?
Well, the day that I either get a sex change or grow breasts and a vagina, I will be fine.
So there's shelters for women?
Of course, and hotels for women.
Real hotels? Do they give them beds?
They get everything.
Oh, that's weird, eh?
Yeah, and then during the day shelters, they also Chez Doris. They come in there. They have they have their 3 squares. They have these prepared by chefs. They have bedrooms.
Wow.
They go to sleep all day and everything, and then they can go into the Europa, the Best Western Hotel,
So they have a lot of resources for women, but not much for men.
They got 0 for men.
Wow. And what about, I heard that they were giving fines to homeless people.
Yeah, my friend Jesse got a $1,500 fine. This is within the 3rd day of the curfew.
Okay. Did he pay it? Did he go to court?
He didn't pay it.
Not pay it. He doesn't have the money. But did he go to court?
Well, it takes a while before you would have to go to before they would actually.
Okay.
With any case, like any ticket, you get a ticket.
It's because I heard that anyone who contests it, they won't really make them pay those fines.
Yeah, well, how is it possible that someone if I can't even afford a roof over my head, how is it feasible that I afford a $1,500 fine at the drop of a hat?
Of course not.
At whatever my leisure. Impossible.
And so now that they said that they're not going to be fining the homeless, how are you getting treated outside if you're out after curfew?
They stopped me. One of the police officers there, him and his partner, stopped me and 2 of my friends. And they said, if we see you 3 times, we have no choice but to give you a fine. If I see
Even
you
now?
Yeah, that was after they keep telling the people on the media that they're not going to fine the homeless.
They're still doing it?
But they're still doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
So where do you stay? I mean, you don't have to tell me the exact location, but where do you guys stay if you have nowhere to go?
Oh, that's Snowbank, wherever.
Any nook and cranny, basically.
There's nowhere to go. You can't go into restaurants; they're all closed.
Right.
They're all
Yeah. Exactly.
But I do what I did. The thing is, I'm not supposed, technically by law, I am not supposed to be on. Not like it used to. Okay, my conditions were not to be within 50 meters of any Concordia property. Right, which is impossible because they own 3/4 of downtown.
Yeah.
Right. How is it that I cannot be within 50 meters of their property? They own everything. They own the Faubourg. They own this.
You go to another neighborhood, basically.
Yeah, basically, I have to go to Hochelaga.
Yeah.
And
you don't know anybody out there, right?
Know anybody? That's that's just an open. But that's the backyard of the Douglas Hospital, I think.
Oh, really?
Or something, right?
I don't know. I don't hang out there much.
I had to go to Hochelaga. Well, this is when I was back in school, back in what, 04? 04, yeah. So I had to go and I had to pick up I had to pick my uniform up, okay? And so it happened to be like, in that area, this particular area. So I go to get my uniform. I go outside and have a cigarette, and this older French lady is sitting on like the third or fourth story, hanging out of her window, like barely with no underwear on, and with her legs kind of cocked up and spread smoking a cigarette. Right? I'm not sure about how many teeth she had left. She's like, hey, you want to have some fun, huh? And yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I want to have all kinds of fun with you, right? I just gotta go. See you later. And that was, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like Hochelaga.
Yeah, that's where I want to go too, right?
Right.
That's my home.
I got another question. I heard that because the police were giving homeless people fines, and anybody who was out, that people were not going to Cactus to do their drugs, and so that a lot of people were overdosing at home or in wherever they were. Do you know a lot of people who've overdosed during the last year and the curfew?
Listen, in this last week, I've had how many people I know that died? At least four this week.
Just this week?
This week alone.
And has it been more since the curfew?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And why do you think that more people are overdosing and dying because of the curfew?
Well, because they have to tuck themselves away in these small little quarters, like wherever they can get their ass in, and then because they're in there and they're hiding, right, and with no one to find them, right, they overdose, and no one's gonna find them.
As opposed to like the Tim Hortons bathroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. There's no bathroom. They can't go in there, and if they overdose, you hear a thud, or somebody wants to go to the bathroom after that person. There's not a lock on that door anyway, so they just basically walk right in. If they knock and no one responds, they figure like it's okay, I can go in and use it, and then they'll discover the body on the floor. It's like right away.
Right.
And not anymore.
And what about like for people going to Cactus? Like, do people usually do that? Because I heard that a lot less people were going. And they were ODing at home.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, I mean, everything is like capacity.
Even Cactus has like limitations on capacity.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Like it's even more so. Everything since this curfew, it ramped up everything. I mean, you're not. We're only allowed to have. Well, like look at a debonair. You can imagine throwing like two people in the dep at the same time.
Right.
For a place that is like strictly, it's like it dictates biohazardous waste and material and the use thereof. That's going to be a little bit like more exponential in the fact that less people are allowed to be within the same proximity of one another.
Right. So they don't want to go out because they're going to get fined. They don't want to go in there because then they have to wait outside probably for the capacity to
Well,
go.
that's it.
Like because
I saw
of the
myself waiting outside for 2 hours.
At Cactus?
Because I wanted to get material.
2 hours?
Yeah.
So are people like
one of the coldest nights that we had, I almost lost my hand.
Are people reusing their needles because of that?
Probably.
Well, it sounds like it's been really dangerous for anyone who's an addict or anyone who's out on the street.
Well, let's just say it's no walk in the park. It hasn't gotten certainly hasn't gotten any better. As far as worse, I mean, you would think like I used to say that like until this all happened, I used to say like really how could our lives get any worse? Well, our lives have gotten so much more worse.
Thanks a lot for the interview, John. I was just actually really happy to run into you and see that you're alive.
Yeah, thanks,
and I hope that you get through this. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyhow, that's the sad story. I really wanted you to hear it from John's perspective, so you know how like really, really rough it's been up here. I just want to raise awareness about this. It's kind of like a massacre. It's like so many people are dying because of the measures they're taking to protect people. I'm angry. I'm very sad. It's very hard for me to see this happening. I feel like it's evil. They haven't done enough. They say, oh, we don't have money, we don't have resources. I don't believe it. They have them for what they want. If they really wanted to save more lives and help more people, they would put the money in that, but they're not doing it. So anyhow, this is why I made the interview with John. I wanted to let you know. And also, please pray for John. I don't want to tell you his whole story, but I know that it's complicated, and there's reasons why, you know, he's kind of stuck in the rut that he's stuck in, and only God is going to help him out of that at this point. John basically needs a miracle. So please pray for John. I really would like there to be a miracle for him to get off the street. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.